So good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Exeter Science Park Centre, Exeter Science Park seminar. I'm really delighted to welcome Naomi Harnett today. Naomi is Programme Manager for the Exeter and East Devon Enterprise Zone. And so she basically works for East Devon District Council. Naomi, your world has changed pretty significantly over the last months. Can you just sort of talk a little bit about this? Because as far as I can see, you are effectively, along with your colleagues, some of the unsung heroes of this particular response.
You're too kind, Sally, but yes, I can give a little overview. So over the last few months, our team have been working with the business rates team at East Devon District Council to administer grant support to businesses, which have included the small business grant and the retail and leisure and hospitality grant. And so we have worked to provide millions of pounds to the East Devon District Council economy to support those businesses in the greatest need where we can. And there's also recently been a discretionary grant fund which is now closed, which has provided support to those businesses who haven't been able to access those other funds.
And you just sort of briefly mentioned a figure before we went on air. Do you sort of have a bit of a feeling?
In terms of how much money?
Yeah.
Been trying to find the number, but it's in excess of 10 million, which has been handed out to businesses.
Okay, and so you've been part of the team that's been dealing with all the inquiries. So you've gone from your work steering the enterprise zone, and you've ended up sort of doing a lot of grant forms, I'm guessing. Even more than that, I've actually been on the front line, so dealing with day-to-day calls from businesses, and so many of our business community, when they're phoning up to find out what they're eligible for and how to access grants, I was on the phone dealing with that along with my colleagues, and so we did actually just change our roles and change our day jobs and our routines from where we were dealing with strategic programs to a more operational frontline response, just to ensure the money got to where it was needed as quickly as possible. And that, I guess, was working from home. So like all of us, you had to cope with leaving the office to working at home and then doing a new job.
Yes.
How was that?
I think we've been quite fortunate. East Devon have been very supportive in providing guidance on getting a good work-life balance and providing the right technical kit to help you do that, and right. supporting our colleagues, discussing how you're going to work through well, initially cold calling a couple of hundred businesses a day, to dealing with a new technology with a headset, to talk to businesses online about eligibility for funding and how to access. We got through it, we did the best we can, and hopefully the businesses are happy with the service that they received.
Brilliant, well done. So for everybody who's watching, please put questions or either into the questions and answers area or the chat. That would be a really good thing, and we can ask those as we go on. Naomi, I'm going to turn off my my thing and let you present. So over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you to Sally for inviting us, for inviting myself today to talk about the enterprise zone and how we've been supporting the economy in these very difficult times. So I'm Naomi Harnett. I'm Programme Manager of the Exeter and East Devon Enterprise Zone, and I really hope you find this webinar today useful.
We're going to be running a few polls. You may have seen the first one already through the presentation, so we can improve our understanding at East Devon on how we should be supporting our business community. So this is my day job, looking after the Exeter and East Devon Enterprise Zone, which is located to the west end of East Devon, just east of the M5. And this map shows you our geography and the 4 sites that I look after on a day-to-day basis. So each of these 4 sites has a distinct offer. First site is a science park, a 25-hectare site with a focus on STEM businesses. It hosts a range of tech and innovation-based companies and is home to the Met Office supercomputer. And it's been really good to see the progress being made on Science Park over the last few years. Then on to Sky Park. It's the largest of our Enterprise Zone sites, combining an environmentally sustainable office location, industrial, as well as distribution space. Then we have the Airport Business Park expansion area, one of our small sites, providing for business growth in a very sought after location. And then finally, Cranbrook Town Centre. It's a 5-hectare employment site, providing for a 21st century town centre and a focal point for local residents as well as businesses in the area, and a unique part of the Enterprise Zone offer. And as you'll see from all the logos to the right of the screen, this is not just an East Devon project. This is very much undertaken in partnership with Devon County Council and the Heart of the South West LEP. So the focus of the Enterprise Zone is to enable projects that accelerate delivery of new commercial space and support job creation. This includes projects which overcome barriers to development of buildings or job creation, as well as creating catalysts to improve the local economic environment. To give you a better idea of what that actually means, I'm going to give you a little overview of some of our projects which are happening at the moment. So we have provided grant funding for the delivery of the Ada Lovelace building, which is currently under construction on Exeter Science Park. And so this is going to provide an additional 20,000 square foot of employment space on the park and 150 new jobs within the park, and provides an excellent example of one of the types of projects that we like to support within the Enterprise Zone. We've also provided some grant funding towards the Connections bus service, which provides an improved bus service between the city of Exeter, along with our Enterprise Zone sites, Science Park and Sky Park, and along into Exmouth, adding to the variety of sustainable travel options within the area. While bus travel is more difficult at the moment, we hope to see patronage improving as restrictions allow. So the yellow pipes, the yellow-ended pipes, that's our district heating pipe work, and something you probably don't see every day when you're driving around the Enterprise Zone. We're working on a local development order which will support delivery of the district heat network across the West End. The aerial photo provides an image of our airport in context of the employment space, and we're working on Long Lane at the moment, upgrading an existing road so we can access the Airport Business Park expansion area. And finally, money. We're able to offer a business rate relief programme for new and growing businesses within the Enterprise Zone until March 2022. And on that note, we're just launching a new web form to make it easier for businesses to apply for Enterprise Zone business rate relief online. I'm going to be sharing these links towards the end of the presentation on Twitter and LinkedIn this afternoon. Okay. The second part of this presentation, now I've provided you some information on the enterprise zone, is the range of COVID-19 business support available. This is with an East Devon focus, but many of the other local authorities are providing the same schemes and putting out really good information on a regular basis on their websites and their social media. So first thing I'd like to draw East Devon businesses to, if you log on to our East Devon District Council website, we have a dedicated part of our website to provide information on grants available, advice and other information and support which will help businesses, and it can be accessed from our home screen if you just click on the COVID-19 link. The big green arrow shows you exactly where it is on the website, so it's really easy to access. So the popular request I get for information is usually on what grants we've got available, and there is 3 schemes. 2 are currently in operation. So the first is Scheme 1, Small Business Grant Fund, and this is for businesses that qualify for small business rate relief subject to exclusions, and they can apply for a grant of up to £10,000. Scheme 2 is the Retail, Hospitality and Leisure Business Grant Fund, which is for businesses which fall within those categories only. There's 2 levels of grant, up to £10,000 and £25,000. Scheme 3, the Discretionary Grant Fund, this scheme is currently closed, but there may be further rounds in the future which we will advertise. And as I said previously, these are the East Devon schemes, and I'll be sharing links for the East Devon schemes, but other local authorities are offering similar schemes with information shared through their websites and their social media. A really good way of keeping up to date with all this information is to access the East Devon District Council Business Newsletter, which can be emailed directly to you, to your inbox on a regular basis. This provides a whole wealth of information, advice on grants available, information available, webinars, etc., which can help your business during these really, really difficult times. But we're not the only ones who are providing some really useful information. Devon County Council have a dedicated space within their website which provides information, including up-to-date links on government guidance to support us through the pandemic, and information to businesses on printables, information you can download to encourage social distancing within your premises, all within one convenient space. And finally, the Heart of the Southwest Growth Hub. This is a fantastic resource which provides support for businesses, can support business resilience. There's opportunities for one-to-one business support and web-based workshops. I will be sharing this later. I've been sharing this resource for many weeks now with businesses who've been in contact with us at East Devon. A really good place to look, and hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing about it. Okay. So I think the final thing for me to say before I start looking at the responses on the polls is that please stay in contact with us at the Enterprise Zone. We have a website, our own standalone website, Exeter and eastdevon.com, which we share news, information about our sites, and up-to-date images of what's happening on our sites. That's regularly updated, along with our East Devon District Council webpage, which provides access to our business grant support programme. And then we have our Twitter and LinkedIn feeds where we share news on a regular basis as well. So I'm going to go to the polls, Sally, now just to see what feedback we've had from our businesses, so we can see how we can support them. So good news is that everyone had heard about the enterprise zone before today. So that's really reassuring that our advertising has been working well. 2/3 had heard about the business newsletter. And interestingly, we also asked a question on has your business changed in response to COVID-19, and 100% of businesses represented here today, they have changed. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Naomi. So happy to take some questions. We will certainly put all of this information up on our website, and Ariane's put some of that information in the chat area. So the other thing that, of course, people forget, Naomi, is that just prior to all COVID happening, we had Flybe with its little problem.
Yes.
Terminal problem, that was. So, and between then and now, I think it's widely in the news that Exeter College is going to be taking over the Flybe Academy building.
Yes. And
I'm just kind of wondering how all of that has hit at the same time, because that must have been quite a double whammy.
So yes, all these things have come together, but I think the important thing is we work very much as a team, one team with Devon County Council, and so that purchase has been undertaken by Devon County Council and run by them. And so whilst East Devon have been fully involved in that process, they have really taken the lead on that. And so I think it just demonstrates how well a one team approach can work on a partnership project such as this. And of course, the work we've been undertaking with you since you started your role all those years ago, Sally.
God, I was young then. And the Long Lane development that you talked about, that you're pushing, I think will absolutely directly benefit the Flybe Academy, now the Exeter College building.
Yes, yes. So the big importance of that scheme is, of course, opening the Airport Business Park expansion area, also known as Air Park. But yes, now there is the double benefit of also improving that access to the training academy and providing enhanced sustainable travel to that area as well through bus route and walking cycling links.
Yeah, and so public transport is an area that you have invested in, and I know that various organisations are looking to put more public transport in, which I think is really important. We've just got this sort of slight problem at the moment, or we just all have to wear masks and not look too much like Zorro, I guess. But how are you finding that the sort of rest of East Devon is taking to public transport again?
So use within the area is still very low, and following government guidance, it's the private car, but also walking and cycling, which are becoming the dominant travel methods. But we are really hoping and going to be working with providers along with Devon County Council as the transport authority to work to improve that at an appropriate time. So this is a unique situation where we have this reduced patronage of our sustainable transport options, but it's not a forever option. I've also found it quite interesting hearing about those businesses who are able to have more staff working from home or more flexibly. And I know a conversation that we had, Sally, a few weeks ago, it's looking at start and finish times as well. So staff who want to and are able to use public transport aren't forced onto public transport at those peak times of day, particularly morning and evening.
Yeah.
So more businesses will follow that.
Brilliant. So we got any questions from our audience? We'll come back to that in a moment. How's East Devon been linking in with the rest of? I mean, you've talked about Devon County, but I guess there's Exeter City and there's Teambridge and there's Mid Devon, all of those sort of Greater Exeter type groups. How does that work at this sort of time?
Okay, so there has been various tiers of partnership working to not just look at the emergency response, but also the longer term recovery programme. For much of that work, we've been looking at at a local enterprise partnership level, and so there is meetings at that level, bringing everyone together. But there's also been at a Devon level a degree of sharing of and putting out information on the various grant funding schemes available, making sure it's consistent, and between the Greater Exeter authorities, there's been a lot of sharing on how do we parcel this up, put it into web forms and get that out as quickly as possible. So it's been, again, a really positive to see that partnership work, just so we can support the business community as well as possible, because they don't consider the administrative breaks between areas. It's just about providing a good level of service across the patch.
Now, I guess down in Devon, East Devon, tourism is one of our major areas of interest, or it's major industry, and yet it's kind of a little bit bittersweet at some ways as we move on. How do you get a feel for how tourism is looking forward to people coming back or not otherwise?
So the feel is that our businesses are looking forward to receiving visitors at the appropriate time and working within current guidelines, because we need to be aware of those guidelines to keep everyone safe, because we don't want to be encouraging a second peak to occur or to have local restrictions. Certainly, I've been very aware of what's been happening in other areas where there's been high levels of visitors to beaches and other areas, and the pressure that's put upon the local authorities. And it's been an area that East Devon has been long term aware of, because of our internationally important natural environment, which can also be affected by visitor pressures.
Yeah, so you're still working from home. You've got kids doing things, exams and things like that, and so on. I think you sent me something. It was day 93 last week, or the way you must be up at day 100 at this point.
We're over. Day 100 was last Wednesday.
Right. Okay. So, how is that then? How are you? Because you're not back at work yet.
No. So for us, we're fortunate to have a space each, so we can work without being under each other's feet, which I think has been very important for our coping, along with good bandwidth. Having little treasures of 12 and 17, they are bandwidth demanding. There's a excellent email from our local authority IT company, which pointed out that Netflix and YouTube really impacted upon bandwidth, was shared with, as I call them during the day, my colleagues. A strong suggestion that a focus on schoolwork and not their entertainment during 9 to 5 would make it a much more pleasant environment for us all.
And what have you been looking forward since you've been able to sort of move again? What have been the things that have sort of kept the sanity going?
Okay, so as soon as we could move away from our local exercise, my first thing, which I probably shared too much on my Twitter feed, was getting onto Dartmoor. And so we've had some lovely walks. We're really fortunate to live in this beautiful part of the country, and just getting into the more off the beaten track areas, having a lovely walk in a big open space and just enjoying it. And I think moving forward, it'll be more trips to the coastline, but they're still a little busy for my liking.
Yeah, we were up at High Will Hayes, which is the highest point. Not last weekend, the weekend before, and right up there at the cairn, we just had something to drink, blah blah blah, putting the rucksack back on, and certainly somebody tried to push past us, which felt a bit odd. You know, you thought, come on guys, social distance please, but it's not always easy. I think different people have very different perspectives.
Yes, it has been interesting in the real world that how different people can respond, and I think it's one of the areas that I've been quite sheltered from, living on the edge of a town. We can access the countryside very easily and not see anyone for miles, and so that's sort of where we've grown to expect during this time.
Yeah, brilliant. So our attendees, any questions, quick questions for Naomi? She's clearly open to talking about almost anything, both about the presentation and how you survive lockdown with children and schooling. Have you been doing the teaching?
We're very fortunate that we have it's all brought to us by teams and things, and so the schools have really, in this area, have really well adapted to it, mainly, although my son, as a music student, has found it a little bit difficult to adapt to not ensemble playing anymore, because the connectivity doesn't make that particularly easy.
It's not great, is it?
But it's really it's solo playing, so there's got to be some, we have to appreciate the benefits.
Brilliant. Okay, well, listen, don't think we've got any more questions, but Naomi, thank you so much indeed for coming to the webinar today. It's lovely to catch up with you. Come over, see us at the Science Park when you're available to. We can offer you a socially distanced, clean cup of water, I'm sure, and show you what we're doing. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.